Hey, today we are talking feature adoption inside of Accoil as compared to tracking things like logins, NPS, and volume-based statistics or data that tells you how many times things have happened, not necessarily what's happened or who's happening, right? So again, we're talking about features, feature adoption. Two things on that are really important: who's using your key features, and then the flip side of that is who is not using your key features. And we're going to highlight who's not using a key feature of our fictitious app, Snapforms, the form builder. All right, so we are in a paid customer workspace inside of Accoil. That means all the data here that we're looking at, which is dummy data, uh, is representative of companies that are paying for our form builder. Now, you're here, you're looking at this on your dashboard. You can see adoption really quick. Try to surface that quickly for you. You can see that average adoption is dropping. Overall, average adoption is not that great. So less than 1/3 of your features are being used by your paying customers. You probably want to do something about that. If you scroll down here, you can get more detail on the individual features, what's happening with them over time, how much your customers are using those. And you can dig into the more details in that, which we will in just a moment. What I want to point out, though, is if we kind of take a step back into how you set up workspaces in Accoil, we give you the ability to rank or weight your features, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to pick on conditional logic because this is the kind of feature in a form builder. And I would like you to, as you're listening to this, think about the features in your product that make you think like these are the things that we want customers to do that indicate they're getting more advanced, they're upskilling, we're becoming stickier, they're more likely to stick around, and we are becoming a part of their workflows. So right now we're going to pick on conditional logic as one of those key features when we've rated it or weighted it as a 10. Important to know. Okay. So when we come over here to the features page and look at everything, what we can see here is really quickly when you hover over this chart, graph. I've had too much coffee today. I'm like mixing my words. You can see some great details like adoption over the last 30 days, the adoption change, average number of events, or how many times these features basically are being triggered in this time window. And if we come over here and look at conditional logic, you can see that the adoption change, it's slipping. So we're in the red. That's not a good look. That's an important feature. So we're going to look into this a little bit more. Something I want to point out before we leave this screen is that we can look at both accounts and user level data to see what's happening with our conditional logic at user level and account level, right? So at an account level, it's actually slipping more. So big concern there. And if we come down here and look at conditional logic and start to drill down in here, you can see, again, you get accounts and users. So you get different ways of looking at this data, different time windows that you can do that with. If we scroll down, you can see when is it being triggered, and then you can also see how many accounts are using it on any given day. And keep scrolling down, you get more detail. Who's using it really, right? And now we're going to keep picking on conditional logic by looking at a company called Infrastructure Cast. And this is one of the things I really find exciting about LLMs and enriching data like this. The adoption and activation part of the account summaries to me is really great because I think adoption is really important. And this is just a great way of surfacing quickly what are they using, right? So Infrastructure Cast here, strong adoption of core features, form viewing, they're creating forms, and they're downloading PDFs, right? So they're sharing the information, which is really cool. But what they're not really doing is using conditional logic. We had a look at that in a different screen, but if we drill into Infrastructure Cast and their power user Lynn here, I want to see if Lynn, their power user, right? Like, so this is one of the people that you want to make sure that you stay on their good side. Is she using conditional logic? And if we look at this here, basically what it says is, no, she has not done this at all in the past month. That could be a bit of a concern. So from all this information that we've looked at, we can start to realize that, Infrastructure Cast is a company that we want to keep and we want to keep happy. How are we going to do that? We might reach out to Lynn Bowman, who's our power user and potentially the champion there. Now, a faster way to get to this level of detail is to create a segment, which I've done here, created a conditional logic no-go. Companies that have not used conditional logic in the past 30 days will be automatically updated and put onto this customer segment so that you will always have a live list of companies and the people at those companies who are not using conditional logic. Insert your key feature there. And I think you'll find that this is a really great way of keeping track of who is and who is not using those stickiest features that you have. So if you haven't already, check out Accoil, send your data over, start tracking this feature adoption at both account and user level, and see what kind of fun plays that you can get into on the back of that data. See ya.